cursed to blessed, Balaam and the unfolding divine plan. Balak, the king of Moab, saw the Israelites approaching his land. Fearing their vast number and their recent victories over other nations, he sent messengers to Balaam, a diviner, asking him to come and curse the Israelites. Balaam consulted God about this request. God initially told Balaam not to go, but Balaam persisted, so God allowed him to go but instructed him to speak only what God told him. As Balaam set out on his donkey to go to meet Balak, God was angry with him for not obeying his command. An angel of the Lord appeared on the road with a drawn sword, blocking the path. Balaam's donkey saw the angel, but Balaam did not. The donkey veered off the road into a field, and Balaam struck the animal to get it back on the road. Further along the path, the angel appeared again, this time in a narrow part of the road where there was no room to turn aside. The donkey, seeing the angel, laid down under Balaam. Balaam, in his anger, struck the donkey again. Then, the Lord allowed the donkey to speak. The donkey asked Balaam why he had struck her, pointing out her long history of faithfulness. Balaam, astonished that his donkey was speaking, realized the seriousness of the situation. At that moment, God opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way with the drawn sword. The angel explained that the donkey had saved Balaam's life by stopping him, and that he was there to oppose Balaam's journey because it was contrary to God's will. Frightened and repentant, Balaam acknowledged his sin and offered to turn back. However, the angel instructed him to go on, but only to speak the words that God would put in his mouth. Balaam eventually met with Balak, and instead of cursing the Israelites, he blessed them multiple times, as directed by God. When Balaam arrived, instead of cursing the Israelites as Balak wanted, Balaam spoke blessings upon them as inspired by God. He explained that he could only speak what God had put in his mouth. Balak, frustrated by Balaam's blessings, took him to another location hoping for a different outcome. However, once again, Balaam spoke blessings over Israel, emphasizing that God does not change his mind and that his blessings over Israel were sure. Balak took Balaam to a third location, hoping for a curse. Instead, Balaam delivered a series of prophecies, including the famous messianic prophecy about a star coming out of Jacob and a scepter rising out of Israel. Balaam continued with his prophecies, foretelling the fate of various nations. He also spoke of a future king who would triumph over enemies, symbolized by the Amalekites and Edomites. After delivering his prophecies, Balaam left to return to his home. This story illustrates God's sovereignty over the affairs of nations, God's ability to use even a donkey to convey his message, and the importance of obedience to God's will. It emphasizes that God's plans cannot be thwarted, even when people, like Balaam, try to resist or go against his commands.